Good day, listeners. Unprecedented levels of volcanic and tropical cyclone activities and flash floods in recent history have highlighted the vulnerability of Montserrat and have triggered significant loss of life and property. Today, October 13th, the Disaster Management Coordination Agency DMCA joins the rest of the world to mark International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, held annually on this day. The day aims to raise awareness and knowledge about the progress being made locally and globally to prevent and minimize the loss of life, livelihoods, economies, and basic infrastructure due to hazard impact and disasters. These include natural and man-made hazards now occurring more frequently and intensely due to changes in global climate and other factors. The theme for this year is Fighting Inequality for a Resilient Future. It looks at the reciprocal relationship between disasters and inequality. Inequality and disaster vulnerability are two sides of the same coin. Unequal access to services such as finance and insurance leaves the most at risk exposed to the danger of disasters, while disaster impacts exacerbate inequalities and push the most at risk further into poverty. Here in Montserrat, the DMCA, in collaboration with various government departments and NGOs, has taken steps to build a more disaster-resilient island and to address inequality and disaster vulnerability through the implementation of several key measures and strategies. These include 1. Implementing early warning systems to ensure residents, including the most vulnerable, receive timely and accurate information to take appropriate actions and measures to minimize the potential impact of disasters. 2. Providing effective communication to the most vulnerable, including people with language barriers, before, during, and after hazard impacts and disasters. 3. Incorporation of disaster risk reduction strategies into the Montserrat Sustainable Development Plan. 4. Enacting of proper building codes to support disaster preparedness and resilience. 5. Ongoing work continues to ensure emergency shelters meet international standards. 6. Conducting of simulation exercises which are effective and feasible in disaster preparedness. 7. Clearing of guts and waterways ahead of the hurricane season. 8. Mapping of vulnerable areas susceptible to flooding, tsunamis, rockfalls, and landslides. 9. Conducting public awareness and education on disaster risk reduction amongst children, the elderly, people with language barriers, and the physically and mentally challenged. 10. Assisting residents and the most vulnerable by providing emergency relief supplies to assist with recovery. However, the Disaster Management Coordination Agency acknowledges that there are always room for improvement to ensure the inclusion of the most vulnerable in all aspects of disaster risk reduction efforts to save lives. Finally, I would like to encourage all residents and visitors on Montserrat, particularly the vulnerable, not to wait for hazard impact to occur and then act, but to take disaster risk reduction seriously. It reduces the loss of life and property. Thank you.